Welcome to the show, Playing with Food. I'm your host, Liz Corbett. When I was a child, I did in fact play with my food a lot, and I'm still doing it. There are so many ways to take party foods and even simple meals to the next level. If you are feeling uninspired, or if you are domestically challenged, it's okay, because if you stay right here, I am going to share some tips and tricks. It is all about maximum flair with minimal fuss. That'll be our little secret. On today's show, we're going to make two simple and delicious appetizers: coconut shrimp with pineapple jalapeno sauce and prosciutto wrapped melon bites. Some fresh flavors to bring tropical sunshine for your next get-together. Let's get started. The very first thing that we are going to do is make a nice little sauce for our shrimp, and it only has 3 ingredients. We're going to have about a half a cup, and this is how I cook. I don't measure anything, but don't tell. Half cup of pineapple preserves. And I am putting this, yes, in a martini glass. About a half cup. We're going tropical for this. And lime juice. An important thing about your limes is you want them room temperature, and you want to give them a good little roll on the counter to break up the membranes. You'll get a lot more juice out of them. That's your little tip for the day. So we're just going to go right into here, about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. That will cut the sweetness just a little bit. Our third ingredient that we're going to put into this is hot peppers. So I've got some jalapenos here. You can do serrano if you want. And I'm avoiding the seeds because that is the very hot part. I like things a little bit milder. And just a simple little dice. The smaller you go, the more you'll be able to mix it in. You don't want it too chunky, or someone's going to get a big surprise when they take a bite of this. So teaspoon, tablespoon, whatever floats your boat. This is all about relaxing and having fun in your kitchen. Look at that. Give it a little stir, and your sauce is done. Now let's move on to our featured guest, which is, of course, the humble shrimp. These are actually not so humble. These are quite large. I would call these colossal. I don't know about you. There's probably about 16, 20 of these, maybe in a pound. And I'm going to show you really quickly. Again, you want to use raw shrimp because when you are baking, as we're going to be, you want to start with them fresh. They're already scored along the back, and it's kind of like peeling maybe a pistachio, just a little scarier because there's legs. I don't know if you can see that up close. You want to hang on to the tail though, because that gives you a handle. Now you might wonder, why is this weird gray color? That's how they look, and they turn pink when you cook them. Look at that, naked and ready to get dipped. So we're going to go skinny dipping with the naked shrimp in some cornstarch. Because it's a little slimy and wet, you want to put it into the cornstarch first, a little dust bath, then into the egg white. And the egg white is going to have almost a little bit of a meringue effect on this. Then triple dip into the coconut. Look at that. That is a very, very large shrimp. Okay, and done. Onto a baking sheet, parchment paper. Let's see if we can get another one here for you real quick. Now, if you've never peeled and deveined a shrimp, you don't have to be intimidated or scared. They're going to be, you can get them already done, or you can just be brave and do it yourself. You want a very sharp knife to go along the back. There's going to be a really dark little vein, and it's going to hang out right here, and all you have to do is just grab the edge of it with your knife. It's going to come right out. Super, super easy. So let's give this one, oh, he has a couple little legs hanging on there. Not giving up easily. Give that a little dust bath in the cornstarch. This is a skinny recipe, which means that it's guilt-free. It's not fried. It also means you can have twice as many. So a little dip in the coconut there, and onto the baking sheet it goes. So this is going to be a 400-degree oven, and you want to check on them about halfway through. I would set a timer for 7, give them a little turn, and then check them again at the end. When they're white in the middle, it means they're all done. And this is what they're going to look like when they come out of the oven. They turn that beautiful pink. Doing them on the parchment paper helps them not stick, and it gives you that nice golden color. So we've got appetizer number 1, which was very fast, you must admit. Now we're going to move on to our melon and prosciutto. Now, if you've not had prosciutto before, it is delicious. It is a dried ham. It's cured and dried, not cooked. And we're going to wrap these around some nice fresh cantaloupe. You don't have to be real precise when you're doing the chunks on this. Any size you would like. You want them, you know, bite size for your guests. Make it comfortable for them. And again, they don't have to be perfect or uniform unless you want them to be. It's all about making it easy. And now watch this. Talk about simple. Two things. We've got a melon. We've got prosciutto. Gonna wrap that baby right around there. Here's the most important part. You gotta have fun picks. Stay stocked up on those. Look at that. Isn't that fun? And you wouldn't necessarily think of the ham with the melon, but it's a really beautiful combination. Sweet and juicy and salty are fabulous together. So we have another one here. And you can see this is really easy to do. It's going to take you no time at all to come up with some fabulous little snacks for your guests. Let's do another one. Uh-oh, slippery guy, you got to watch out. They're going to get away from you. Actually, I'm glad that happened with that and not the shrimp. That would have been frightening. All right, give that a little wrap. And maybe one more. Then I'm going to show you something fancy that we can do with our shrimp that makes it stand out. Your friends are going to be impressed. All right, remember that sauce we made over here? Our 3 ingredients. Here comes the martini glass. And this is what we're going to do with it. Don't just put it on a platter and make it boring. Make it fun. Ooh, look at that. And they are going to rest right on the edge like this. Look at the size of these things. You might have to change your numbers on how many per person because these are huge. Isn't that fun? All right, and you've got your shrimp. Now you could do a big glass like this. You could even do those little mini ones like you can buy for the sample parties that a lot of people are doing now. You could get the little mini glass and then have individual ones for everyone. So they just grab their glass, they've got their dip in it already, and they're good to go. Individual servings. Let's see how many we can get on her without it tipping over. All right. So again, very, very simple. It's all about doing things ahead of time. You want to do these, have your prepped ingredients ready to go, everything laid out, and they're only going to take about 15 minutes. So you can pop these in while you're greeting your guests, or even better, have somebody else do it for you. And it's easy, no fuss. I've got probably room for another melon bite here. This is really hard to not eat this as I'm hungry. All right. And look at that. And I'm going to keep building here. We're going to live dangerously. If you're not a big fan of the pineapple, you could do a little twist on it and orange marmalade. How interesting would that be? You could throw in maybe a little bit of horseradish or some spicy mustard just to change it up a little bit. But I like the pineapple a lot because we are going with the tropical theme here. Is that not absolutely beautiful? So you've got them all displayed in your glass. And it's not very long at all before you've got something really, really impressive to show your guests. And it's light, it's simple, it's nothing complicated. It's low fat, it's high protein. You cannot go wrong with fixing this. All right, I hope you're going to be trying these. Again, very simple to do. It's all about no stress, easy, and give it a whirl. I'd love to hear from you. As you can see, it's extremely easy to make a beautiful appetizer, and I would love to hear from you, like I said, if you try these at home. To find the recipes and more, visit playingwithfood.tv. And during the break coming up, we're going to hear from Barbara at a local seafood market, a little bit more about shrimp and other seafood. After the break, join me and a guest for some creative ways to dress up your table. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Liz Corbett, host of the TV show Playing with Food. Have you ever made a shrimp appetizer? with raw shrimp. Are you afraid of raw shrimp? They're so cute, these little crustaceans, and they're delicious too. So we are going to take the mystery out of fixing fresh seafood while we visit our local grocery store. Here we are at ShopRite, Miller Farms Family Markets, and we're going to talk to Barbara in the seafood department. Inquiring minds want to know more about shrimp and other seafood delights. Hi Barbara, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Liz. Good morning.
Good morning. We have a few basic questions for you that the general public wants to know about coming into a seafood department at their local grocery store.
Okay.
And specifically shrimp, because I'm going to be preparing a shrimp appetizer. So Barbara, I'm planning on making a coconut shrimp with a dipping sauce. What would be the benefit of buying raw shrimp versus cooked for using in a recipe, in a cooked recipe? What's the benefit of that?
The benefit with the raw shrimp is if you're going to batter it like that, it's not going to overcook. Unless your recipe calls for a cooked shrimp, I would definitely use a raw shrimp.
So raw shrimp is probably the way to go for that. That's
absolutely
great. That's great.
And
now,
a good size shrimp.
We had a little peek at the shrimp earlier. Some people might be a little put off by handling it and doing what you need to do to prep it for a recipe. Tell us a little bit more about peeling and deveining a shrimp. What is that, and is that something that you could have done at the grocery store?
Yes, most grocery stores offer that service, or they do sell a peeled and deveined shrimp. The ones that are not peeled and deveined are actually called easy peel. And they're split down the back, so all you really have to do is snip the end and pull the skin right off.
So it's not
very
difficult.
easy. No, it's not difficult at all.
Wouldn't take you long at all to do a whole bunch of them.
I could do a 2 pound bag in 10 minutes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep,
so that's a goal for us. Now, obviously, we're not going to just be looking at shrimp. There's lots of other varieties of seafood that are offered in grocery stores in the seafood department. What do you think is probably the most popular kind of fish that people buy? What's the one that people come in for the most?
Salmon is our top seller, is the top seller. The omega-3s and all the benefits of all that,
yes.
It is one of the top sellers. It's a little stronger of a fish versus a haddock or a cod. Those are milder, but definitely a salmon is the most popular.
So like you had said, the others are milder. If someone is maybe new to adding some seafood, especially for children, into their family menu, what would be the milder ones to go with?
Cod, haddock, flounder, tilapia, those are all really mild fishes. And basically what you put on it is going to be the flavor of the fish, with a little hint of the fish.
What do you think is the easiest way to prep fish? Say if you were to get some tilapia.
Tilapia, you can bake. Seafood is actually really easy to cook. Baking, searing, it's very easy. It doesn't take long at all. It's a quick dinner. You can do dinner in 10 to 20 minutes.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Beginning to the end, yep.
And I would say that that's going to taste a whole lot better than something that's processed.
Yes, something that's frozen, absolutely.
And better for you.
And more, yes, better for you. More nutritious.
Now, let's talk about a couple of other seafood items. I happen to love scallops, and they come in a couple of different sizes. There are bay scallops and sea scallops. Very simply, what is the difference between the two?
Bay are smaller in size, and they're not as sweet and tender as a sea scallop. Sea scallops are bigger, and you can sear those, and absolutely, they're nice and sweet and tender.
What do you think are the most common for, say, an appetizer?
Definitely sea scallops.
Yeah, they're bigger and they have a little more.
Yes.
A little more visual appeal.
They make great scallops wrapped in bacon. So, yeah.
Bacon. That's a whole other episode.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Barbara. We really appreciate your time. And I am going to have to find some things to put on my shrimp. Maybe some cocktail sauce, some tartar sauce. I'm going to go on a hunt now and find that. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back to Playing with Food. I'm your host, Liz Corbett. And now it's time for some show and tell. Dressing up your table does not have to be complicated or expensive. To go with our seafood and tropical appetizer, I have simply collected a few things from my summer decor from my home and put them on the table. And in just a minute, you're going to meet a friend of mine, and she's going to help me make some sparkling punch. And as I said, super easy. Just go to your decor in your home, anywhere. You don't have to buy anything special. I have a trifle bowl. This is actually made for dessert. And I've got some sand in the bottom and some shells, a little candle lit. Simple, 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 but it really makes your guests feel special when you make that effort to put a couple of extra cool things on your table. And I am joined by a very special friend of mine. Her name is Battelle Arnold. Hi, Battelle. Thanks for being here.
Liz,
Battelle is...
I'm so excited.
She is a co-host and co-producer of the show Simply Talking, which is where we met.
Yes.
And you have a new book out called Buried Beneath the Words.
Yes.
Would you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, I'm really excited about that book. Very, very excited because, you know, sometimes we do things and we have no idea why we do them.
That's true.
And that happened in my own life, and I had to really stop and take stock of some of the things that I did. You know, and I realized that as young children, there are a lot of negative words that are spoken over us. And sometimes we take those negative words and we wrap them around ourselves. We wrap them around where the real you is buried beneath those words.
That's exactly true. And what a perfect name for that. You are so, so right. One of the things that we need to do, I think, is figure out a way out from underneath that.
Definitely.
And we don't want it to define who we are for the rest of our lives.
Definitely, because you know what? If you are buried beneath those words, it's going to manifest itself some way, somehow.
It is. It's going to come out, and sometimes when you least expect it. One of those ways that it comes out is people talking about entertaining at parties, people feeling uncomfortable. I talk to so many people, and they say, well, I really couldn't do that. I don't want to have people in my home, or I want to, but I feel uncomfortable or intimidated. Do you find that that's true for most people?
You know, I think that it is. I think that it can really be intimidating, because if you are not confident about who you are, if you're not standing on solid ground, and you're having people come over and you are overly concerned with how your house looks, if you have to go out and start shopping and buying stuff just to make your house look good, or your food has to be just perfect, you need to stop and take stock of that. You know, because like you said to me a few times that you love to entertain. And many people want to entertain.
They do.
But if they're not comfortable with who they are, and their house has to be just so, then there's a problem with that. Because entertaining is not about that.
It's not about that. And as much as I love food, and as much as I love fixing everything up nice, you're so right. It's about making people feel comfortable in your home. And you can do that when you feel comfortable with yourself.
Definitely.
Very true. It does not have to be intimidating. You know that I like to laugh and I like humor, and that helps for me to just lighten up and take a kind of a lighter look at myself. We're going to goof up. We're going to make mistakes. Things are going to fall off the table. I actually turned the oven off in the middle of baking a cake one time.
You told me that.
Yeah,
you told me that.
Which is a special thing. Did you ever have an awkward moment like that? And what did you do?
Let me tell you something. Before that awkward moment that I had, there was a time when I entertained and I had to hire somebody.
Oh,
That's how insecure I was.
Really?
Yes, I hired somebody because remember, everything had to be just so.
Yeah.
But you know, I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of work in myself, and my faith plays a big part into that. So because of when that happened, the incidents where I had to laugh at myself actually happened. I was having a gathering at my house, and the woman said, where are your bowls? And I said, bowls? She said, yeah, bowls. And I thought she was talking Chinese or a different language. It was like, yeah, bowls. And I looked at her, I said, I don't have any bowls. And she said, you don't have any bowls?
What'd you do?
I said, no, but remember, I've been working on myself. And I said, no, I don't have any bowls. And I just started laughing, and she started laughing, and then it was a big joke.
Yes.
You know, and since then I've realized that, you know what? People can come over. I can entertain. It doesn't. Things don't have to be perfect.
No, they don't have to be perfect.
You know why? Because I no longer have to be perfect.
Exactly. Guess what? We're all imperfect.
Definitely.
Secrets out.
Yes.
And there's no need to get stressed out about it, and that's why I'm trying to show how to do things that are simple, and what you're adding to this is so important. You really have got to take a look at, like you said, stop. I like that. Why are you getting stressed out?
Right.
There is no need to be stressed out, and figure that out. Work on that, whatever you need to do to make yourself feel more comfortable. Remember that everybody else is feeling the same way.
Exactly.
They're all feeling a little intimidated. And honestly, if somebody kind of messes up, I feel a little bit better. And if I do that, I think, well, at least they feel better about themselves.
And you give people permission, because if you are little Miss Perfect, and then you invite me to your house, I'm like, oh, I can't invite her over my house. She's perfect. No.
Yeah, well,
you know,
guess what? No.
That's why I like coming to your house. You know?
And I got to share one of my top tips. This is what I do.
Yeah.
This is a sparkling punch. I saw you noticing that.
Yeah.
Again, easy. We have some lemon lime soda in the bottom. And I would go with a pitcher drink when you have your guests over, because, again, always offer water. for everyone, and do what I do. We call it fancy water.
Yeah,
fancy water.
I'm interested about that.
You know what? Just slice up some lemons and limes and throw them in your water. Then it's fancy water. It just looks a little nicer, you know, put it in a pretty picture.
Yeah.
And people will be all impressed. This is a drink that has a little bit of sparkling wine in it, a Moscato. You can go with something kind of sweet. I've already got some limeade concentrate in there, and I've already got some lemon lime soda. So if you just want to pour some more bubbly in there.
I'll pour some bubbly.
All
Do you want me
right.
to, how much?
Well, it's up to you, Batel.
Okay.
But it's just those three simple things, and
All
slice
right.
up some
You tell
lemons
me
and
to
limes
stop.
together.
I mean, I might just
This
pour the
could
whole
get
bottle.
awkward because I might,
Okay.
yeah.
Is that good?
Maybe a little more.
A little bit more?
Yeah, a little bit
Okay.
more.
Yeah.
But you're so right. Find some ways to make it less stressful for yourself.
Definitely.
Enlist the help of your friends. Have some friends come over. Maybe you've got one particular friend that's really good at, I don't know, sweets or desserts or something. Try to delegate, get other people to help you out. You know, have somebody, if you've got little children, do some trading with friends for babysitting. You know, have the kids go to another house. Whatever you need to do to relax.
And I think also you have to keep your menu simple.
Exactly.
Simple.
That's
you
a
don't
really
want
hard one for me.
I know. Yeah, but you know what? I've seen you create just something spectacular out of nothing.
Out of nothing.
I mean, I've seen you do that.
But it's true. It really is true. It's kind of like magic tricks. I mean, you really, you know, a couple of ingredients. It's all about visuals and how you display it. And it's about your attitude, too. You know, if people come over and you feel festive and, you know, you...
And comfortable.
Comfortable. You know, play some music. Here's my best tip ever.
Tell me,
If you're feeling
please.
a little intimidated
Yeah.
about your house, have an evening party. Turn off all the
Turn
lights.
off the lights.
and then
Light
just
all the
And
candles.
then just light candles everywhere. They'll be a little concerned when
my
they first
gosh.
walk in. But you know what? That's my best tip ever because things disappear in the dark shadows and they're not going to see it.
I just have to say something. If you invite somebody over your house and you're really concerned about what they're going to think about your house, don't invite them. I'm sorry.
know,
That's what I would say.
Okay, that is the best tip of the day because when people come over to your home, they are coming over to see you.
Right.
And if you're getting worked up, tell me if you agree on this.
Okay.
If you feel like you have to go that extra mile to impress that person,
right.
you might want to kind of stop and think about, is this something, a person that you really want to be spending a lot of time with? Because we should be encouraging each other.
Yeah, I think
not
you
making
need
each other feel uncomfortable.
I think you need to do two things.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you need to stop and analyze yourself and check and make sure you're not buried beneath certain words. And also, I think that if you feel like you have to impress that one person, you really need to analyze, recognize, and maybe not invite.
Yeah, it's true. And sometimes a smaller guest list is better.
Easier.
And it's easier, but invite those people that you really, really want to spend some time with. I have another question for you. We talk about the words that you said are said over us. I kind of like that image of when we're younger, and it can be a positive thing and a negative thing. What are the kinds of things, and I know you know this, what are the kinds of things that we as women should be saying to each other to encourage each other?
Well, I really think that it's really important that we remind each other of who we really are. Remind each other, when I look at you, what a beautiful, talented woman you are. And continue to remind ourselves because sometimes we are our own worst enemies and we, you know, continuously put ourselves down. And that's why we need some good girlfriends to say, no, honey, you got it all together. I like how you did that. You're talented. Point out, you know, instead of speaking negative words, now your girlfriend should speak positive words into you. I'm going to speak positive over you. I'm going to say you're talented, you're wonderful, you're doing a
I'm going to take you everywhere.
I'll go.
I'm just going to take it like a miniature version of you everywhere I go because you are that kind of a person. And it actually does two things. It helps the person that you're with, but it brings you up too.
Right.
It brings you up too. And the words are so, so powerful, whether they're negative or whether they're positive. And you make some really, really good points about things that we need to do. You know, people might say, well, what does that have to do with entertaining? It's everything to do with entertaining and having people in your home. Because it's all about being comfortable and feeling welcome. Have you ever been in a situation where you go into someone's home and it just feels a little off or a little awkward? And it could be any number of things. They're feeling stressed or intimidated.
Well, you can pick up the energy, you pick up the atmosphere. You know, especially women, I think women can really sense what's going on.
We're really good at that, aren't we?
We really are.
We've got these little radars going.
Really
We can pick up on it.
Yeah,
you make some excellent points, Patel, and thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to dig into these because I'm really hungry.
I'm so excited. I know, I want to have a little bit of this
She's going to have a little bit or a lot of it of that. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. On today's show, we made 2 very simple appetizers and a sparkling punch that is easy to prepare, but it looks like you fussed. And decorating your table is as simple as borrowing some things from around your home. Patel Arnold offered us some very important advice for opening your home to friends and family. I had a lot of fun showing you some tasty recipes, and I hope that you will join me for future episodes. For today's recipes or for more information on the show, go to playingwithfood.tv. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time on Playing with Food.